Hello and welcome back to another video, this time taking another look at the upcoming Forza Motorsport game. So I did do a quick sort of reaction video when the trailer first came out, but wanted to do a more in-depth video talking about it. There's not a huge amount more we can go over other than what I talked about before, but there are a few things that I missed out in that very quick reaction video. So similar to what I've done with Test Drive previously, we did a reaction when the trailer came out and then took a bit more of a look at it in more detail afterwards. So there's not that much more I can go over. There's a couple of other cars spotted in there and a few more thoughts rather than just looking at what came out. So before we get into that, I'm just going to go over some of the quick general information that I did go over in that previous video. So like I say, it's called Forza Motorsport, not Motorsport 8, which makes me think that hopefully it's some kind of refresh of the series. I really hope so, because it needs it. It's going to be a 60 frames per second 4K game, which, to those of you playing on PC, I know is kind of the normal pretty much by now, but for us Xbox players that is quite a big thing. Obviously it will be on the new console and on PC. So at the moment it is in very early development, which I'm sure you guessed from the trailer. They just kind of wanted to throw something out as quickly as possible because Gran Turismo had put out their trailer. That's what I think anyway. I think they rushed something together for that Xbox stream. And yeah, I will be doing a video similar to this talking about the new Gran Turismo game soon, so do watch out for that one. But yes, let's get into the cars. Like I said, there's a few. I think there was 3, in fact, hidden somewhere in that trailer that I didn't actually spot. So, before we get into those, I should just say Forza has always had a very large car list, so I'm not worried that there's not going to be enough cars, I'm just worried there's not going to be enough interesting cars. But for example, Horizon 4 has 700 cars, pretty much, roughly. So I'd expect all of those to be just imported to the new game, pretty much, but you'd hope so. Forza always do slightly weird things with removing cars, which ones they choose to remove and all of that, but I'd imagine most of them, if not all, will be copied across from there. I really hope a lot of them are. But it would be quite nice to get some new cars, which I'm slightly concerned might not happen. Not at launch, anyway. So, previously in the trailer, you've obviously spotted the Apollo IE, which is very likely to be the cover car, unfortunately. Which is a bit odd, because it's been out for a long time, and it's not new to the series. Well, it's new to Motorsport, but it's not new to Forza, so a bit of an odd choice. But anyway, that featured very heavily and appears to have its own one-make series, which I guess we'll find out what that's like when we get the game, but yeah, so obviously the Apollo's in there. BAC Mono, you've probably spotted in there on the sort of poster for another sort of one-make series, and there's that sort of Mazda LMP car, which was in there. So all of these I've got some quick footage of from Motorsport 7, because they were in there as well, apart from the Apollo, which I've got some shots of from Horizon. But there are also 3 other cars that I didn't actually spot myself. I was shown these. I sent some pictures of these cars in the trailer, some screenshots. I obviously didn't slow it down enough. There is a Donkerbot D8 Gto, which I think was actually in the poster with the BACs, I think as a sort of track car championship. So that's in there. There is a Chaparral 2E, which is that old racing car with the big high-up spoiler. One of those sort of early aerodynamics cars, I guess. So that's in there. And there is a Lancia Delta. I think that's what it is. That's what it says it is on the with the image. It is kind of the right shape, but it's hard to see properly. But apparently that's a Delta. So we do have those 3 cars, as well as the 3 that were very prominent in the trailer. But again, none of them are new. All of them have been in Forza before, so I really, really, really hope we get at least some new cars at launch, and they're not all just added later like they do in Horizon. We really need some new cars at launch. We need a more interesting cover car. If you think of Motorsport 7, the GT2 RS that was on that was before the car was even unveiled. That was the car's unveiling. It was a bit weird, because Porsche then denied it existed, but that car was unveiled when Motorsport 7 came out. They had a new car. It was the actual cars unveiling at the same time as the game. So putting the Apollo as the main car is a little bit odd. I really hope that isn't the case. As much as I love the Apollo, I don't want that to be the cover car. And yeah, I do hope they put some new stuff, new cars in there at launch, just because at the moment we haven't seen any, which is a little bit of a worry given that the last 3 games have been very similar. They've been pretty much a copy and paste job. So anyway, that's the cars. As for the tracks, we've only actually seen Laguna Seca in the trailer, which again is a little bit concerning because it's a track we had in the previous game, and we really are quite short of tracks in Forza. So again, I really hope there's a new track, but I kind of feel like if they had a new track or a new car, they'd have put it in that trailer. The only hope is that's very early development, so they might have time to get stuff in there. They've just kind of put out a trailer which is basically for Motorsport 7 because they didn't have anything else. But yeah, Laguna Seca is the only track confirmed for the game because it's the only one that's been in the trailer. So yeah, like I said before, Motorsport games have all been a bit the same recently, and I think they've just gradually been going downhill since Motorsport 4, which I know is a lot of people's favourite Motorsport game, which I have played a little bit of, but going by the car list and the track list and stuff in there, it's a lot better. Because 5, 6 and 7, they've all been quite similar. I think 5 was probably better than the 2 later ones, but they have been very, 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 very similar. So, like I said at the beginning, hopefully just calling it Forza Motorsport and not Forza Motorsport 8 means it's being refreshed a bit, and they're going back to that old style of 4. So a bit like Gran Turismo did when they unveiled 7, it looks like they're going back to that Gran Turismo 4 style. So the hope is with this they'll go back to the Motorsport 4 style, although given that trailer it's not exactly hopeful at the moment. But I still hope it does go back that way. So yeah, because they had good things and interesting things in Motorsport 4. They had some of the fun game modes and things, like they had the car football. I know Motorsport 4 was quite closely linked with Top Gear, so I think that's where that idea came from. And obviously they had the Top Gear test track and the reasonably priced cars and stuff in there. But yeah, the car football, little mini games like that would be cool to see. Don't think we really have that anymore in 7. Or some of the unusual cars that were back in Motorsport 4. So I'm hoping the Forza Motorsport refresh thing means they are going back in that direction and hopefully bringing some of that stuff forward. A lot of the cars they've added in updates to Horizon 4 were originally from Motorsport 4, so potentially they could be adding some of those to the new Motorsport game if we are lucky. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of the cars and tracks we know so far, and what I think. I'm slightly concerned it'll be another copy and paste. I'm just hoping it's not, and that it's called Forza Motorsport. I'm hoping that means it is a bit of a refresh and a bit better. But yeah, that's basically it. We know it's going to be 4K at 60 frames per second. We know it will be available on Series X and PC, but not on Xbox One. So if you do want this game, you're going to have to either you're on PC and you can get it, or if you're an Xbox player, you need to go and buy the new console or switch to PC or something. So the car list isn't a worry in terms of numbers, it's just a worry in terms of it's going to be a copy and paste. Tracks is more of a concern because we've never had that many, and also we've only really seen Laguna Seca. So yeah, like I say, I really hope it does refresh the series. If it doesn't, I'll just play Gran Turismo 7 or Project Cars 3, I guess, as a track racing game, and then hopefully wait until Horizon 5 if Motorsport's going to be another copy and paste, but yeah, hopefully it isn't. So I will give the game a go, but with Motorsport 7 I did give it a couple of weeks and then probably didn't really play it much after that, so hopefully it lasts a bit longer than that, the interest in the new game. But yeah, I do look forward to hearing more about this game, although, as I'm sure I've said before, I'm more excited about the Gran Turismo 7 and particularly the new Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown than I am about this one, but yeah. Hopefully it is more exciting than the previous games have been, and a bit of a change to the series finally. That would be helpful. But yeah, that's kind of all my thoughts on that game for now, a bit more in-depth than the first sort of glance at the trailer, I guess. But I will be back soon to do a similar video on Gran Turismo 7. I hope you are enjoying these videos, sort of discussing games a bit more. I know a lot of people viewed the test drive one, so hopefully you enjoy these kind of videos, kind of giving my thoughts on upcoming games. But like I say, I will be doing a similar video on Gran Turismo 7 at some point next week, hopefully. But that is going to be all for this video, taking a slightly more detailed look at the upcoming Forza game. I know there's not that much we can look at, a couple more cars, a few more of my thoughts, but that is going to be all for this video. So thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next video very soon.